So, who died and left Marshall Faulk in charge? Mike Fisher, the fish here, getting ready for Cowboys and preseason game number 4. Encouraging you to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Fish Sports, and we appreciate you subscribing to our YouTube channel here. Jerry Jones, he's got a new on-the-record approach to the Ezekiel Elliott stalemate, and that approach is to suggest that we really don't need him now. We'll get him eventually, but we'll need him later. It's a unique way of thinking about it. It's a little dangerous because it causes you to wonder, is what Jerry trying to say is that, hey, we're only playing the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins in weeks 1, 2, and 3, so we'll get through fine. I don't think that's what he's thinking, but that is the implication, if you will, of some of what he's saying. And that's a little warped, but not nearly as warped as what we're hearing from, for lack of a better term, because this is how they set it up, Zeke's camp. Zeke's camp, of course, now represented by Marshall Faulk, the all-time great running back with St. Louis ties, and Ezekiel Elliott, obviously, from the St. Louis area as well, and both the great running backs represented by the agent Rocky Arsenault. So we've got Zeke not saying much of anything. We've got Rocky not saying much of anything. And we've got, and I've only covered NFL contract negotiations for 35 years, so what do I know? But we've got an unprecedented circumstance where a former player has become the either official spokesman for the Zeke camp or the unofficial spokesman for the Zeke camp. And I'm not sure which one is worse. And I'll detail why right here. Marshall Faulk joins forces with Zeke and opts to represent him by taking outrageous digs at his teammates and friends. Dak Prescott's a bum. Jalen Smith is overpaid. They don't know, the Cowboys, what they're doing at linebacker with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. And I'm sure when Marshall gets another microphone in front of him, he'll rip somebody else. It's very conventional for the players' camp to rip the owner. You rip the billionaire owner. But to rip the kid's best friends on the team? Is this a strategy? Are we just throwing feces up against the wall to see what might stick? What if it's not a strategy at all? What if it's not orchestrated at all? Or worse, what if it's orchestrated by Rocky Arsenault, the Zeke camp, in a way that isn't actually meant to benefit Zeke very much, but for the moment is meant to benefit Marshall Faulk? It's a dangerous way of doing business on that side of the table. During Wednesday's kickoff luncheon, Jerry played it right by saying, no, we don't have anything new on negotiations. That's the right tone right now. Don't add any more fuel to this fire. That doesn't mean Jerry won't do it tomorrow or tonight at the game, but that was the right tone for that moment. Faulk's comments, it seems self-serving to me. Why doesn't Zeke's agent, Rocky Arsenault, reel Faulk back in? If Zeke and Marshall and Rocky are all sitting around the living room, sitting around the campfire in Cabo at Rocky's property, and meticulously orchestrating, okay, man, now Marshall, now you're going to go on the Dan Patrick show, and you're going to say this, and then 2 days later, you're going to go over here on that show, and we need you to say that. If that's being orchestrated by the agent, that's a bad look. But what if Faulk is saying these things to help himself and to help his agent, with little regard for how it impacts Zeke? That'd be the grimiest look at all. In fact, there's kind of 3 levels for me. Okay, I'll need to go through them. 1, they are meticulously orchestrating Faulk's offensive media barrage. Bad look for the agent. 2, Faulk is going rogue. He's saying these things, and Zeke's going, whoa, what are you talking about after he says them? And Rocky's going, oh, Marshall, you can't say that. Then he goes on another show tomorrow and says it again. That's a worse look for the agent. But then the grimiest look of all is the possibility, and this has come up in the building, the possibility that Rocky is letting Marshall do this, not for Zeke, but for Marshall. Marshall Faulk needs a job in media. That's a great way to make a great living. I don't know, whatever. He got fired from NFL Network, of course, for inappropriate stuff, but also in part because he's not very good. He wasn't very good at it. There's a way of getting a job again. Be colorful. Be outrageous. Be opinionated. It works. People pay for that, I guess. Be Skip Bayless. It's not really healthy for journalism, but that approach can be very healthy for Marshall Faulk's wallet. And for his agent's wallet, too, because don't forget, if Marshall Faulk gets a new $1 million deal, Rocky Arsenault gets paid as well. And then Zeke, we'll get around to you whenever. We'll get you paid too, and Rocky will also make his commission off that. Here's the thing about Marshall Faulk. He's not an agent. He's not a scout. He's not a coach. He's not a team executive. He's not Zeke's dad. He's not even a trainer that I knew of, although that was his first assignment here, is he was going to go to Cabo and train Zeke. It sounds to me like Marshall Faulk really went to Cabo to train Marshall Faulk, to train him into getting a media job again. And I'll just suggest this gently. I'm betting that Ezekiel Elliott has people close to him, friends, family, who are suddenly wondering, what is the true purpose of Marshall Faulk's involvement here? Did the agent orchestrate this mess or just allow it to happen? And either way, why does the Zeke camp increasingly sound like it's not really all about Zeke? Thank you for subscribing here. We will see you on 105.3 The Fan all day long, and we'll see you at AT&T Stadium tonight for Bucks at Cowboys. See you down the road.